Now, another thing I want to talk about briefly is this idea of quiet quitting that I find fascinating from 2 points of view. Now, the point of view of the employer is, oh, I hear that people are quiet quitting. They're just doing their jobs and they're not adding any joy or any anticipation here. They're just there, they're doing their time and they're leaving. How dare they? And the workers are saying, yeah, how dare I? I propose things, I work extra hours, I try to be creative, energetic. Do I get paid extra for it? No. Do I get any free appreciation for it? No. What is the point of going above and beyond when I am not thought of or paid as above and beyond? And I completely 100% support that. And you sort of see this quiet quitting in, established jobs where people have been there for a long time. Traditionally union jobs where you're there and they can't touch you unless you decide to leave. So they do their job as described and that's it. And they usually have a piece of paper saying, that's not in my job description. And they get away with it because that's how it works. Now young people are discovering, especially after working from home because of COVID, what the real world is like. And that in order for them to survive, they need to do what they have to do to survive. And you have these employers who are demanding they come back to the office. You have these employers who expect people to suffer for them and to do extra unpaid work for them and to be excited for them and to cheerlead for them because that's the American way. And when they don't, then they get upset. Oh, you're quiet quitting. And I don't believe they are. I believe they're just doing their job. What's asked of them and nothing more. And what's wrong with that? If you want more out of somebody, then offer them more money, more praise, a better position, a higher title. Do something. But don't expect, your worst paid workers, your most trod upon workers, to go the extra mile when the employer will not go the extra mile for the employee. It's an important distinction that makes a big difference. So these people quietly quit in their own human contempt for the world and for their job and for themselves. And I think that's perfectly fine. If they're content doing the bare minimum that's asked of them, and they're content with how they're being paid and how they're being treated, then so what? They're not quitting, they're just doing what's expected of them. And this happens to a lot of creative people who get very excited, very interested. They want to go above and beyond. They want to expand their job title, no extra money, no extra recognition. They just want to do a really good job for the company. And some companies take advantage of that and promote that and fulfill the person. And other companies don't want that. They want you to be quiet and sit down and behave. Leave people alone. Don't be too excited. Don't work too fast. Just do it. What about my ideas? We can change it. We can make the workplace better. Nobody asked you to do that. Nobody asked you to start something, to invent something, to make something better. No one asked you to do that. Just be quiet and sit there and work on your computer. Now, is that staying between the lines or is that quiet quitting? I guess it all depends on your point of view. And speaking of quiet quitting, it's very interesting, this new idea that we have of women in the workforce who work very hard and who want to have a family, who have to give up what they have in order to get in. Or to get in, they have to give up what they want. An example is the pharmacist I was just talking about when we got our flu shot and information on the COVID boosters. The head pharmacist left, and she had been there for many years. She's the assistant pharmacist, but she's not the assistant to the pharmacist. She's the second in command. And I noticed that they brought in someone from the outside to be the lead pharmacist. And so I asked her, I said, okay. As she's giving me my flu shot and jabbing it in my arm, I said, if you don't want to answer this, that's okay. But I'm just curious, if you applied to be the lead pharmacist, because you've been here for as long as we can remember, 20 years. And she said, oh, no, I don't want that job. I said, why not? I mean, it's more money. It's theoretically prestige, right? And she said, well, it's an extra 14 hours every week. And right now, she works 35 hours a week. And she said, it's almost full time. I said, okay. And she said, and I have 3 kids. So I said, oh. So because she has 3 kids that she loves and enjoys and wants to be with, she can't be the lead pharmacist because that would take 14 hours a week away from spending time with her kids. So to her, right now, home, kids, family, more important than being the lead pharmacist. Now, is that quiet quitting? Where you're offered an opportunity, prestige, more money, more hours, the American way? Or you just want to sit back and enjoy your life, work almost full time, and raise your children to be the people you want them to be? It's a very interesting question. And as I discussed this with our Jana Marie, she said, well, that's not that rare. Women have to always suffer for the family because they're the ones who carry the kids. Elsa Pacate, right? World international famous model. Met a young actor, good-looking guy. Okay. Chris Hemsworth, Thor, the Avengers, becomes a big star. And she says to herself, and probably to Chris, well, we want to have kids. And you can't have the kids, so I have to have the kids. So she had kids, 2 or 3, I think. Sort of had to give up her international modeling career to be a mom. Is that quiet quitting? Or is that doing something that you have no other choice to do if you're going to be in a family? And you're a woman who wants to have children and you have a man? Well, the man is not going to be able to have the children in that scenario if you're Chris Hemsworth. So it's up to Elsa to pick up the baton and say, well, I'll give up my career, I hope temporarily, so we can have our kids and we can have a family together. And as Jan also mentioned, Serena Williams, right? Greatest female tennis player? Almost. She's quitting because she's old, because she wants to have a family, because she had to put her career on hold for a while to have a baby. Is that fair to compare Tom Brady with her? Oh, Tom Brady's the greatest athlete of all time. Look at all the things he's won. Well, what about Serena? She had to take time off to have a baby. Is it a fair comparison? Well, Serena didn't have to have a kid. She could have just moved forward. Pharmacist doesn't have to have kids. She could be the lead pharmacist. Elsa can still have her career. Just have to have kids. Being pregnant? Quiet quitting? Not really. But there are some people who think, oh, that's the woman's place in a marriage, in a family. Give up what she wants, give up what she has in order to please the greater goodness of society. But does she get credit for it? Does she lose status? influence, money. Sometimes life beats the heck out of you. And what choice do you have but to sit back and play along? Do what's expected of you, do what's asked, and nothing more, in order to just simply survive. So we have to factor in all these outside influences when we determine the value of a life, the importance of a person in the workplace, who's quietly quitting and who's loudly resigning. These are the questions of our day, and they're all interesting and important to consider. And I thank you for spending this time together to have this conversation. Now, as you know, when this live stream began, I received a phone call, right? Picked it up, ring, ring. The dentist's office calling. Now, we had an issue in our home with a little bit of tooth pain. So I called our former dentist, who we have not been to for a couple of years because of COVID. And if you think about exposure to COVID, dentists were at the front line. I mean, people have their mouths wide open, breathing on the dentist. You have to have a lot of care in not catching COVID. And if you're there, you don't want to catch COVID from other people who have their mouths open. So we just kind of stayed away, and now we're paying for it a little bit. So we called our old dentist, who I think is a wonderful person, very artistic, and said, hey, we have some tooth pain. Can we come in and see you? And they said, what's your insurance? And we told them our insurance has not changed. It's pretty good insurance. Union insurance. And this dentist said, oh, we don't take that insurance anymore. I said, what? Oh, no, we haven't had that, and we haven't taken that insurance for a year. Huh? And as I'm having this conversation with not the dentist, but I believe the wife of the dentist, who is also a dentist, whom we avoid, was speaking to me in her heavy Russian accent. We don't take it. I said, so the doctor we've seen for 15 years, we can't come and see him anymore because not that our insurance has changed, but that you decided you don't want to take our insurance. And she said, that's right. And I said, because I knew her, I said, so are you telling me that the reason you're not taking our insurance is because it doesn't pay you enough? And she said, that's right. I said, well, have you checked it lately? Because in the last year, the insurance is with the new union contract much better. She said, no, we haven't checked it. I said, do you plan to check it? No. So, as I hung up the phone and then had to go on a mission of finding a new dentist, I realized that it's disappointing that you have doctors who have patients, people patients, not patients as in time management, who will not help people who they previously helped because they're not being paid enough. And I really realize we live in a society, everyone's in it for money. But that's sort of quiet quitting. From my point of view about my dentist, oh, no, I don't take your insurance. Well, I'm sick, I'm not feeling well. Too bad, go find somebody else. And it's not just us. There are regular doctors, cardiologists, primary care physicians. Oh, we don't take that insurance. Why not? It's always about money. That's what it is, about benefits. It's all it's about. They want to be paid a higher amount of money. Oh, we don't take Medicare patients. Why not? Why don't you just accept any insurance somebody has? And there are doctors I've met who do that. That is their philosophy. If you have insurance, I take it. I take everything. And there are other doctors who say, oh, I take 3 insurances. I had an early dermatologist in New York City who told me, after today, I can't see you anymore unless you pay me. I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm not taking your insurance anymore. I'm not taking any insurance anymore. I don't want to deal with it. If you want to see me, you come in and you pay full price. And I said, wow. And you're a dermatologist. That's right. I can make more money doing Botox injections and little fruity fruit stuff, fruit flavored stuff they put on your face to make you look younger than I can, cutting people open and removing their skin cancer. So I think that's fair. You don't want to take insurance? That's fine. You don't want to help people? That's fine. Hippocratic oath? Who cares? First, do no harm by not seeing anybody. A little bit of quiet quitting to me. So I don't understand these doctors and these dentists who draw, imaginary lines in the sand saying, well, I'll see you, but not you, because you don't pay me enough. I want top dollar for my time. I want to be appreciated. I don't want to have to wait for my money. And then there are other doctors who are just terrific. I'll take any insurance you have. And if you don't have insurance, I understand, and I'll give you a discount. And they are out there. You just have to know where to find them.